My waka waka today has taken me to one of the oldest churches in the village. Up there is a wind vane. Yeah, there's a thunder protector, but that's a wind vane as well from our geography. The wind vane tells us the direction that the wind is coming from. And with most churches in England, there are always cemeteries, tombstones. Some of them are actually plots owned by families. There's some mourning here, some memorials may be unstable, so dogs are not allowed. And the church is still on, still here. Normally, I will see where the dates of the churches are, but this is a very, very old church. From the design, I'm wondering, I'm not really so good in the art timings, whether it's the Renaissance or the Baroque period or the Rococo. Can you see how narrow we're going to walk through? Can you imagine? So you get our access to the church. This is so narrow, my God. Okay, now let's see. There's some history here. Underneath are deposited the remains of Walter Kennedy of the Royal Navy, who died here 1811. Also, Janet Kennedy, his daughter, who died here 1807. So that is telling you how old this church is. Yeah, most of these windows are usually protected because of iconoclasts, the people who destroy icons and stained glasses. This is stone. My goodness, this is stone. This is stone here, and you can see. I wonder why this church was built like in the depths, because this is the ground around it. Whether it was where people used to hide during the war times. Look at all the tombstones and graves. This one was what? 1890, 1890, 1888. Just imagine. So, that's the church. At the church grounds. And this is the entrance to the church. I love visiting old churches. Whenever I come here, I always think of the people that worshipped here, people who were baptized here, married here, buried here, more tombstones. My God, how sublime. Look at those windows up there. You wonder if anybody even reaches up there anymore. You know, more graves. So that is the entrance. So maybe I must have come in from another side. So more graves here. More grave tombstones. I remember one book I read that said the tombstones closer to the church were usually tombstones of those that are kind of well-to-do. So look at the other side of the church. It's locked. I would have loved to go in. And yeah, in the church gardens, they would always have benches where you can sit and reflect. Yeah, can you imagine the number of gravestones? Silence. So much silence. Some of them are tied up, like this one. I know that because it must be broken, so the ground must be uneven, so that people don't stand on it. Even though I have gone to some villages where people believe in spirits and they will use chains. There was one I went, and there's a legend, a folklore about it. They are not even allowed to come close to it. They use chains and tie it. That this person has been haunting the village. So it's something really, really some makes you realize that the world is beyond the physical. It's beyond the physical, you know. These are more tombstones. So like the VVIPs, their tombstones are usually plastered on the wall of the church. And so we're going to make our way out to the entrance of this church. So this is St. Stephen's Church. It's such a magnificent structure. Looking at it from here, that's usually where the bells are kept, the tower bells, where the bells are rung, and then the church building itself. And it's interesting how when you come into churches, you're greeted with tombstones and graves. And I believe it is to make us humble, to realize that we are nothing. In another 100, 200 years, people are going to come here and be looking and reading our tombstones and wondering, what did we do with our lives? How did we live our lives? More tombstones. And most churches do have memorials to the war fallen, to the war dead. That's it here. That's the memorial wreath So on Memorial Days, you will always have people come here to give their respects. And in church villages, they will always list the names of the young men that went to war, to fight, to protect them. And as is very common, you will always see, most times you see a pub outside of the church, a church ministry here. And I'm always impressed when I see defibrillators here. Should somebody have a heart attack, you're sure of shocking their heart back to life.